You've already heard of the news by now that college student Mollie Tibbetts, who'd been missing for several weeks, has been found murdered by an illegal alien. Yes, an illegal alien. That is a legal definition. Anyone who crosses the border illegally is by default a criminal. This man is now an alleged, murderer. So thank you for allowing more scumbags like this into the country. And if you doubt that the liberals hate this country and hate America, then look no further than scumbags like Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren, who, when asked about Mollie Tibbetts, decided to deflect after she gave her perfunctory, "I am sorry for the family and their loss." She deflected when asked about this murderer coming into the country illegally, and instead talked about going down to the border and seeing all the children who have been separated from their mothers.
I want to get one last question in
Sure.
here because it is a story, a very important story in the news. It has to do with Mollie Tibbetts, the young woman in Iowa who was murdered, her body believed to be found yesterday. A person has been charged with it. This person is an undocumented immigrant. Mike Pence and the president have suggested the immigration laws need to be stronger so that people like this man who was accused of this murder were not in the country. Your reaction?
You know, I'm so sorry for the family here, and I know this is hard, not only for the family, but for the people in her community, the people throughout Iowa. But one of the things we have to remember is we need an immigration system that is effective, that focuses on where real problems are. Last month, I went down to the border, and I saw where children had been taken away from their mothers. I met with those mothers who had been lied to, who didn't know where their children were, who hadn't had a chance to talk to their children, and there was no plan for how they would be reunified with their children. I think we need immigration laws that focus on people who pose a real threat, and I don't think mamas and babies are the place that we should be spending our resources. Separating a mama from a baby does not make this country safer.
Such a tragic thing to see all these poor kids separated from their mothers, and just went on and talked about that instead. The real issue here, you dumb fucking pig, Senator Warren, is the fact that but for this asshole coming over the border illegally, Mollie Tibbetts would still be alive. People like you, Senator Warren, support illegal aliens coming into this country. By default, they're criminals. We cannot walk into Mexico without being arrested. No other country allows people to waltz right into their country without being vetted first. And if they do, and they're found out, they are arrested and thrown in jail. Americans who are arrested for whatever crimes, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's drugs, whether it's theft, they don't get to take their kids to jail with them. So instead, you're worried about these poor mothers who are coming over the border illegally and having their kids taken away from them. The fact of the matter is, out of the 12,000 kids who come across the border, 2,000 are actually with the person who is their mother or father. The other 10,000 are with somebody who is not their parents. But instead of focusing on an American who was murdered by one of these animals, that you want to come across the border and live in this country, Senator Warren, you focused on, instead, the made-up plight of these illegals coming across the border and having their kids taken away from them. This has been going on under your past president, Obama. It's been going on before that. And all of a sudden now it's an issue because Trump's in the White House. The real issue is here, talking about mothers being separated from their kids. Mollie Tibbetts' mother has been separated from her daughter. All you have to do is look at this interview on CNN to see the real face of the enemy facing this country, and it is liberalism.